So welcome to our next video regarding with rational algebraic expressions and equations. And in this video, we're going to discuss more on rational algebraic equations, or we can call this as fractional algebraic equations involving fractions. Okay. So what do we do first when we have this kind of equations is we do first to look for number one, we need to factorize. If possible, let's try to factorize the denominators. Okay. Then after that, we find the purpose of factorization is that we can find the LCD. Then after that, we multiply all terms or each term by the LCD. So LCD times each term. Then we solve whatever resulting equation. Okay. So in this case, we have a denominator. We have denominators of 2 and 5. And the LCD of 2 and 5 is 10. So that's the number or LCD that we're going to multiply to each of these three terms. So that will become, since 10 is LCD, so we have 10 times x plus 3 times 2 plus 10 times x minus 5 all over 5, then 10 times 3 all over 2. So notice that each term is multiplied by its LCD. So the purpose is to cancel out 10 and 2 becomes 5, 10 and 5 becomes 2, then 10 and 2 becomes 5. Then we distribute, we have 5 times x plus 3, then 2 times x minus 5, then we have 15. So here we have 5x plus 15 plus 2x minus 10 equals 15. Notice that we can actually do this. The 15 from the left side can be cancelled. So we are left with 7x minus 10. So this 5 and 2x becomes 7x. Then minus 10 equals 0 because the 15 is now cancelled. So we have plus 10 to both sides, plus 10 to both sides. We have 7x equals 10. Dividing this both by 7. Therefore, x equals 10 all over 7. Okay. Next, number 2. So our LCD, we don't need to factor x plus 2 and we don't need to factor x minus 2. So we go directly with finding the LCD, and that LCD is x plus 2 and x minus 2. So we multiply all these terms by the LCD. So our LCD is x plus 2 times x minus 2 times 3 over x plus 2 plus the LCD again, five x minus 2 equals 0 times the LCD. So notice that each term is multiplied by the LCD. Okay. So each time now by division we cancel x plus 2, that becomes 1 already. So in this portion we are left with 3 times x minus 2. X minus 2 and x minus 2 are cancelled already by division. So we have, in this section, we have 5 times x plus 2. And notice that 0 times any is 0. So we simply simplify this. We have 3x minus 6, 5x plus 10 equals 0. So we can combine 3x and 5x, that is 8x. Negative 6 and positive 10, that is positive 4 equals 0. So solving for x, we have minus 4, then minus 4. We have 8x equals negative 4, dividing both sides by this one. So that is x equals negative 4 all over 8, or that is negative 1 half. X is negative 1 half. That's number 2. Number 3 is this one. Notice that there's a need for us to factor this one. So this becomes 5. If we're going to factor this, you have 2 times 2 minus x equals 3. So notice that these are inverses. Okay, these are inverses. So our LCD is, let's either copy one of this. They are actually the same. They are just inverses. Okay, so x plus 2 and 2 minus x. Oh, let me just change it into x minus 2. X minus 2. So x minus 2 and 2 minus x are just inverses of each other. So we may just copy one of them. So that's x minus 2 for our LCD. Then there's a 2, therefore our LCD is 2 times x minus 2. So each of these terms will be multiplied by our LCD 2 times x minus 2. So let's start. We have our LCD multiplied by this first term, which is 5 times x minus 2, minus our LCD again, which is 2 times x minus 2 multiplied by our second term, 2 times equals our LCD again, 3 times our LCD, which is 2 x minus 2. So by division, we can cancel this out. We can cancel this. So we have 2 times 5. So this becomes 10 here. Here, notice that 2 minus x and x minus 2 by division, they are inverses. When they divide two expressions, two inverse expressions, x minus 2 and 2 minus x are inverse of each other. When we divide them, that becomes negative 1. So meaning here we multiply negative 2, negative 1, and positive 2, and that is plus 4. Okay. Then we have here, this becomes 6, so distributing 6 here, that is 6x minus 12. Okay. So in this case, we can combine, this is 14 equals 6x minus 12. Then we can combine then 12 and the 14. So we have 26 equals 6x. So we have x equals 26 over 6, that is 13 over 3. Okay. So notice that we factor this first before we get the LCD. Last problem, we have this one. So there is a need for us to factor this one. Okay. So that is, we can write this as x minus 2 x plus 1. Then we may copy. Okay. So I think the LCD, these are just inverses. So we can just copy for our LCD one of that. I think x minus 2. Then x plus 1. Okay. So we will multiply each of this term by the x minus 2, x plus 1 LCD. So let's start. Our LCD is x minus 2, x plus 1 times our first term, which is 2 times x minus 2 times x plus 1, then minus our LCD again times this second term. So x minus 2, x plus 1 times 4, 2 minus x. Notice that 2 minus x, when we cancel later, 2 minus x and x minus 2 becomes negative 1. Equals the LCD again, or we can simply multiply that one. We can multiply the LCD again with x minus 2 and x plus 1. Okay, so it's time to cancel everything, cancel the common factors by division. By division, we can cancel this and this and that. So what is left in this section is 2. Here we can also cancel this one. Notice that this is negative 1. So it's like saying that negative times negative 1 times positive 4. So that is positive 4. Positive 4. And here we have this one will be cancelled and this one will be cancelled. So 3 is now distributive to x minus 2. So we have here 6 equals 3x minus 6. Then we need to combine the 6 and another 6. We have 12 equals 3x. Then we have divided by 3, we have x equals, I need to write it here, 12 divided 3 is actually 4. That's it. X equals 4. I think that's all.